welcome back. Another episode of the Montarctica Podcast. In the house tonight, it's just Johnny and I. Here.
So far.
Yeah, Travis Rhodes, Johnny. We both, I longboarded down to Johnny's house tonight just to bullshit him before he takes a road trip tomorrow, and then we started talking and went, why the hell don't we just do a podcast instead of sitting here bullshitting? So
sit there and talk about everything, and half of the funny stuff comes out.
Yeah.
Not necessarily even funny, but...
Yeah, you know, just good stories and shit. You get to talking about things, and it's worth the value of putting it out in the podcast. I mean, we just got to do it more often. You know what I mean?
Well, you know what I keep hearing is the more, like the more stories we tell, the more people relate to it, because I don't think we're the only ones that are like us.
No, yeah, you're right. And I think a lot of people do like to laugh at our fortune or misfortune.
Mostly misfortune in my case.
It's funny. Right before we got on this podcast, Johnny was on the phone with our good buddy Larry, and he was kind of asking him, hey, what should we talk about in the podcast? And he goes, one thing, and I know if any of you faithful listeners of the podcast, you've heard Johnny whine about his anxiety, and oh man, he can't go to the grocery store. He can't fucking go out in front of people.
To the grocery store.
Yeah, I mean, he gets all nervous in big crowds.
I just have to wear Depends.
Well, yeah. And Larry's telling him, Johnny used to be the opposite. You'd call Johnny to hang out and go, hey, John, you and a couple buddies and I, let's go do something. And Johnny would go, nope, we need the whole crowd. Like, we gotta call these people. We gotta call these people.
Yeah,
we gotta.
It was true, too.
Like you said, now Johnny can't go to the grocery store. Back then, Johnny had to go to the grocery store with 15 people.
Yeah.
Come on, it's a party.
An entourage. It was like, man, I didn't do anything without a whole crowd of people because that's just what it was. And now...
So, I just seen a quote that will fit that really well, too. It says, your anxiety, the reason you have social anxiety is because you're comparing your behind the scenes with everyone else's highlight reel. So everything you see of people doing good is in your own head, but you're comparing, like, the shit of you working on stuff or or what you're doing when nobody else gives a shit. You're comparing that to their highlight reel.
You assume everybody's life is what they project on the screen.
Yeah, and it's not even close to that, Yeah. Everybody every once in a while goes to the grocery store in their pajamas or whatever it is, and nobody, or hungover or whatever, mad at something. Nobody cares. Nobody really gives a shit of what.
But everyone does. It seems like everyone talks to me when I'm at the grocery store or I'm at anywhere. It seems like
I got a trick for that. You just do the simple, hey, how are you? But you push your cart fast. You just race through the grocery store.
But I always have the cart with the broken wheel.
Well, fine.
So I can't make it go that fast.
You gotta just run through there a little bit. And I mean, you just look like you're in a hurry. Or here's a good one for your social.
I am in a hurry. I don't need to look like I'm in a hurry. I am in a hurry. I want to in and out of there as fast as I can.
Well, here's one.
Stop the knock on the melons. Bullshit. I'm just grabbing one and going.
Hold your phone to your ear.
Oh, that's a good one.
And then you don't have to talk to anybody. You just walk through and
now you just give away my secret.
Yep. How are you? Yeah. I mean, have you ever held your phone to your ear to get out of a conversation?
No.
I have. I can honestly say I can't think of the direct time, but I know there's been like awkward time where you went, yeah, all right, oh yeah, gotta go. See, hold on, see you guys.
That's how socially awkward I am. I never even thought of that.
Or throw headphones on.
That's a great one.
I've always done that when if I'm working, put headphones on. Nobody will fucking come bug you.
I've done the old pretended like somebody was at the end of the aisle or something like that and say, "Oh yeah, okay,
yeah, hey."
Yeah, I've done that and said, "All right, well, I gotta go.
Yeah. No, just pull your phone up.
God dang it, that's a good one.
Yeah.
No, everyone will be doing it.
Or so here's how it'll work: as you're going into the store, just set your alarm to go off in like a minute.
So my phone rings.
So it actually rings. Yeah, and then boom.
God dang it. Why didn't you tell me all this stuff a long time ago?
Or you could just not be socially awkward, you fucking weirdo.
Or I could just hire someone to go shopping for me. Or
yeah. I've thought of that. I wonder in a small town if like hired shoppers would work very well. If you go for...
It wouldn't, because how often do you go to the store and get exactly what you want? You
Well,
go
if
to
you
the
take a
store and
list-
you get some of what you want and you get some of what you don't necessarily need, but once you're there, you see, oh, that looks good.
I'm the king of going for taco shells, and $100 later, we got some
Yeah.
snacks.
Oh,
or
man. I've almost given up going in with a list.
or all of a sudden I'll get in there and like, oh yeah, I need this cleaning supply or something else, whatever it is. Suddenly you're off in fucking
Yeah.
toothpaste land, seeing what kind of bargain you can
Yeah,
get. And
I'll go in for milk. I'll come out $100 later without milk.
me too. I did today. I went in, so we were gonna have. I went in and like chicken's on sale big time right now. So it's like 59 cents a pound if you got the app, which is crazy cheap. So I go in and I buy a bunch of chicken because my dog's on a raw diet. So I feed her like chicken and like you can't cook it or else the chicken bones will hurt them. But raw, they can eat the shit out
They
of them.
can eat raw chicken bones?
Yep, you can eat raw chicken like just straight out of the fridge, but they can't eat it cooked. When it's cooked, the bones get brittle.
Because then they're
And then
like
that's-
shards.
Yep, but when it's raw, dogs have caught birds for hundreds of thousands
Right,
of years.
right. That's what I was.
So-
That's what I've been. Oh, I was
telling
getting
you.
this. I was getting this ramrod of a deal about my dog and how I'm supposed to feed it and why it should eat this and this and
Not
not
to
this.
get too far off on the subject, but man, my dog looks great compared to what she was before she was on this raw food diet. Now
I
she's
haven't
on this
seen your
raw
dog
food
in a
diet, and
while.
she's trimmed up. Her hair is all shiny and nice looking,
But
and
yeah, you think about it. What have dogs eaten for the last century?
not fucking dried dog food with corn mixed into it.
no. You know what they eat? They eat animals.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean they're straight. I mean
That's
they can eat some vegetables and stuff
I was
too.
told,
But-
don't feed it human food. Be nice
Well, you
to
don't.
it.
Don't-
Don't ever
don't cook
spank
it.
it.
Don't cook
ever.
it.
Like what?
Well, dogs are pack
Are
mentality
you
for
kidding
one.
me?
You gotta let the dog know who's the alpha of the house.
Yeah,
You gotta
I-
know that you're the owner. But the other thing is it's raw food because dogs never. It's not like dogs started a fire.
Right.
So if you feed, like if I'm eating some elk
Well, and I
steaks or
got
something, I'll
thinking
throw her
about
one.
that.
And
I got thinking about that. Am I going to get mad at my dog if a kid drops a hot dog at around the campfire? What do you think is going to happen?
yeah, exactly.
I'm not going to get mad at my dog for
And it's a
cleaning up
dog.
the camp.
So it's a dog, dude. The way that
It's
I
a
look at it, a
dog.
dog might on a good, if it's a super lucky dog, gets 15 years, if it's lucky.
Boy, that's a pretty lucky
That's
dog.
a stretch.
Yeah, that's a lucky dog.
So let's say 10 years, 12
Yeah,
years.
I'd say 10 to 12.
Either way.
Lucky dog. Yeah.
It's 10 to 12 years. What dog do you know that's outlived every other dog for fucking so much longer
Well,
because of what it's ate or what it didn't eat?
That's
So the reason you don't feed
that's
your
what
dog
pisses me off about dogs.
the reason you don't feed your dog human food is because you don't want your dog begging while you're.
Right, exactly.
But you train your dog not to beg.
Right.
And I mean, yeah, they might come and hey, you're hungry, but
Yeah,
you go,
they're
hey,
gonna
go lay
sniff-
down, and they're
right.
gonna go lay down
They're going to sniff around.
if they're trained well.
Right.
But I just figure if they're only on the planet so long,
Right.
what the hell, man?
Right. Right.
I mean, and actually, if you're buying chicken at 59 cents a pound, that's cheaper than fucking dog food is anyway.
by far cheaper
Yeah.
than dog food. Holy
And she loves it. Like,
I've never had a dog since I was in like high school, and I'm 42 now. And now suddenly I have this 10-month-old dog that
so
I
what's it
never
like now?
asked for.
Do you like it or not like having a dog now?
Dude, don't fuck with my dog.
Can't imagine not having a dog now. Like, is
dude,
that,
I would be heartbroken. And that's why I never had a
Yep.
dog, is because I remember the heartbreak when I was a kid, losing
Lose
a
one.
dog.
I read another good quote because we lost a dog not too long ago, and I was, trying to cope with it, help Carol cope with it, whatever. Our dog got ran over on my birthday one time, or the day before my birthday. Our little dog, and he's cute, smart, everything.
Kitty?
Yeah. And anyway, dogs aren't put on the planet. Well, how's that go? It's like, I'm not going to get the exact quote right anyway, but dogs aren't put on the planet just so you can love that dog. Dogs are put on the planet so you can be taught to love and let go and learn to love again, which is tough. But I've had multiple dogs in my lifetime, and it does.
That's a stupid thing.
It sucks when you lose one. It sucks, but you never remember. You never forget about them.
No.
But you do get other dogs, or
Yeah.
you get other cats, or
And
whatever
you know
it
what?
is. And
I don't ever remember being mad at any of my dogs when I was a kid. I remember all the cool shit they did.
yeah, well, because you're a kid.
Right, I suppose.
My kids love to go.
I-
That's one thing. If you tell them to go feed the dog or feed the fish, they're on it. Like kids just love feeding animals like that. You almost have to go. Hey,
Ask 'em
you
to
can't
go
fucking
pick up
feed
the
him
poop."
17 steaks. Yeah, and then that's exactly it. They won't go clean the tank or pick up poop. We just got a fish tank, dude. Yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't get to tell you that. Like a nice fish tank.
Yeah?
A gal-
Salty or clean?
It's clean right now, but it's big enough to be a salt tank if you want it to be. And I mean, it takes some effort, but
Dude,
Carol's like big into the fish stuff.
there's
But
a lot of freshwater fish that are really badass fish.
oh yeah, dude, you should see ours. We got 5. They're glowfish. They're in there, and every one of them has a neon color of a different color.
Hootie?
It could be glow, not blow.
Oh.
This gal, she's moving away. She's a local nurse here, and she's moving out of town, and she didn't want to take her whole fish tank. And Carol got a hold of her, or whatever, and got this fish tank. But man, is it sweet! It's clean.
Right
The
on.
fish are good looking. We got one of those big sucker fish in there. And
A plecostomus is what that is called.
sure, yeah, I never knew.
It's called a plecostomus.
Perfect, the plecostomus. Anyway, you know what my kids call it because it hides under a rock all the time. So when we're
Johnny?
no, listen, when we get close, when we're getting it, she goes, "Oh, he likes to just hide out in his own little room down there. I don't know what he's doing or whatnot." And Braden goes, "That's the dad fish. He's just hiding out in his bathroom all day." I'm like, "Thanks, Braden." So now they call it the dad fish because he's just always trying to hide away.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
It's actually a plecostomus. Is it the one that sucks to the
the wall.
Yeah.
They look like a.
Plecostomus.
They look kind of like a sturgeon or something almost.
And if I'm wrong, I dare someone to email Travis and tell me I
God,
am
no
wrong.
shit. I want to look it up now that you're saying that.
I'm telling you, it's a plecostomus.
I
I might not know anything, but I do know things about fish.
Yeah,
And-
you do know a little bit of that.
And I know fish aren't dogs.
That's exactly what that is.
Yep.
Well, you know what that says? You know what they are? Sucker mouth catfish.
Really. They're
Yeah.
just tiny little
sucker mouth
tiny
catfish.
little
is what it
algae
says.
eaters is
Yeah,
what
and
they
there it
are.
is. There's my little. It looks just like that little sucker. Picking a plecostomus for your aquarium.
Yeah.
You learn something new every day.
Not me, I already knew it.
You didn't know that it was a sucker mouth catfish.
Yeah, no, that I did not. That I did not. No.
Hypostomus plecostomus.
That
The
sounds like
sucker mouth catfish.
Yeah, that sounds like the technical reason I don't go to the grocery store.
You don't want to accidentally get some plecostomus in your catfish? Man, the grocery store these days, so like high-tech grocery store, you got to go through, if you want the good deals, like this chicken, you have to have that app on your phone.
So you got to have a phone smart enough to be able to get the good deals.
Yeah, I mean, most people do, but
So you have to be.
it's a pain in the ass.
You
gotta
have to
go
have
and
enough
click
money
it.
to have a good phone, to have the app that has the. Isn't that like the? I don't know why she swallowed the fly.
It's close. I mean,
Perhaps she'll
that's
die.
about the, yeah, you're right.
I wasn't even being negative tonight. I was actually in a pretty good mood today.
Yeah, no shit. Surprising until you go see the surgeon tomorrow and he tells
Yeah,
you they got
well-
to chop your neck off.
That's tomorrow. You
Yeah.
know. That's.
So since I saw you last, and we talked about it a little bit before then, I went on the big annual Montana Pool
Skate
Service
trip.
skate park tour. And man, what a fun time this has become every year. What we did this year is we went down to Lewistown on Friday, and then some people stayed in Lewistown. We stayed there till like 10:30 at night. Like we skated till we couldn't skate anymore. And then we drove home.
Use the last light.
Oh, the baseball field was on over there further, so
Oh,
they had
so
the
you had
light,
extra
a little
light.
bit of light. When it gets to dusk, man, I lose my depth perception. Like on the transition, it kind of weirds you out a bit. But anyway, so we did Lewistown, and then the next night was the big pig roast and skate jam in Big Sandy. And like for these people that don't know it around Montana, some of the best skaters around like show up to these little things in these little tiny in Big Sandy, Montana. There's the skate jam going on that's cool as shit. And there's everybody, like, we brought a bunch of people bring their tents, and it's a bunch of cool guys, and we all go hang out, and then you go to the bar, and at Pep's Bar, they have a band or a couple bands throughout the night, and then, yeah, and Jeff hangs out.
And I suppose their bands bring the best.
They were pretty good. One out of Missoula.
Well, I mean, they bring their best that night.
Oh,
They have to, right?
I would suppose, wouldn't you?
Well,
You play in front of Jeff Amon, I bet, I mean, you'd try hard.
I would think.
They're his buddies, you know, like some of them are from Missoula.
I've heard Jeff Ament was all right.
So, yeah, he's a stud. One of the guys...
One of these days, he'll be lucky enough to meet me.
You're right. Or be on the podcast, right?
Right.
No. Pretty awesome deal. I'm going all over the place here, but he's going to sell us some boards cheap for our skate camp. And
That's
Pretty
awesome.
neat deal. But anyway, so yeah, one of the guys.
It's pretty genuine right there.
Oh yeah, like he's down home Montana guy. I keep
Not
telling
only am I
everybody.
going to build your skate park for you.
But let me sell you some boards, dirt cheap. and,
Yeah, let me help you out.
But anyway, so like this band, they have VTO as the name of them, but the guy. Have you ever heard of Big Dipper Ice Cream in Missoula? It's a real famous spot. There's always a line outside of it. Anyway.
That if there's a line, you guarantee I'm not in it.
Yeah.
That's the anxiety. So no, I have not heard
Take
of
your cell phone next time.
it. I'll just ask
Stand there
Travis
on the
to call
phone.
me. Yeah.
Stand there on the phone the whole time until you get up there and they go, I need
Yeah,
a vanilla.
I'll be in line with Travis and I'll say, Travis, every time I elbow him, he'll have to call me.
Hit a call.
Hey, give me an order?
What do you think has caused your social anxiety?
I don't know. I think it's I think a lot of it has to do with being on the radio for so long, because I think a lot of people recognize me, and I don't necessarily recognize them because
Yeah.
I wasn't looking at them when I was talking to them.
I get that a lot too. People that know your name walk up and go, "Hey, Travis," and you go,
and I don't necessarily
dude.
know who they are because I was on the radio. I was just standing there staring at a wall talking, but people feel like they know me personally because they've listened to me for 20-some years on the radio. I don't know.
Carol always says that too. She's like, I can't go anywhere without people knowing you, or even like you get to Billings and there's people, and
Yeah.
I don't mind it to an extent, but the same as you, there's times that I'm in the grocery store or wherever. I mean, that's just your average, or the gas station,
Yeah,
and you're kind of in a hurry, or you're trying to
Right.
or you just don't feel
I'm
like
not
talking to
discouraging
anybody.
people. I'm not discouraging someone from being nice to me or something.
Yeah,
I'm
me
not
neither.
trying to say that, but
Me neither at all, but you get a lot of that in a small town. That's something I like about, like, when I go to Missoula or something. You can actually go out and go shopping and nobody fuck with you. Nobody bug you. Nobody see you
the old midnight
picking up your
shopping spree,
Depends or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Like nobody's.
Yeah. Yeah, that's when I buy those super tiny condoms for Travis.
The finger condom. The little thing when you cut your
Yes.
finger and you roll them over your finger.
I know them well.
We got a buddy, and I know you know the buddy. He's kind of a big, tough dude, and he always makes fun of himself for having a tiny thing. And we're out last night. There was a bachelorette party there, and they all got those little straws that are the wieners, like the
yes,
little tiny
yes,
ones. And he
yes.
grabs one out of the girl's drink. He goes, I should be getting royalties for this.
Oh my
They modeled
God.
my exact. And they're like, it's literally the size of my pinky, this poor guy. And he was serious. And
Yeah, some people just can't lie.
yeah. I mean, he goes, his always saying, and this is a little rated R, but he goes, if she thinks it's small, stick it in her butt.
Oh my God.
That's terrible for all of our listeners out there. I know, hey, we're rated R, we are explicit, and we
By
are
the
a comedy
way,
podcast.
send
So,
your kids to bed before you listen to this.
no shit.
That's what I tell.
Disclaimer.
I had some buddies down. What is the first weekend of summer? Labor Day? Memorial Day? Which one is it?
Memorial Day.
Memorial Day. I was telling them about our podcast, and they had a long drive back home after the weekend. And I was like, you want something funny to listen to, or just, or interesting, whatever, it's
Yeah.
something local. You'll understand a lot of the jokes, even if you haven't been around here for a long time, you'll get a lot of it. And he's like, well, can the kids listen to it? They'll be in the back. I said, no.
No. We got a couple episodes that I've had my kids on. You can listen to those ones.
Yeah, there's several that are okay, but
I have another one that I need to. Noah and I did one with our daughters, and it was such a cool podcast. But the girls had such terrible mic control that night. They kept going, breathing into the mic and stuff and messing around. So I got to listen to the whole thing and do a bunch of editing, but it's still going to be worth putting out once I get through it.
Or just do a bunch of them with them, or practice ones so they can hear the.
Well, yeah, but I don't want to discard that one because Noah and his daughter sang the
Right.
Frozen song
Right.
together, and
Yeah.
it's a cool podcast, but there's so much.
They're
I
so
know
young.
that if you were listening to it in your car and you're getting all this pop bang
Yeah.
through the microphone, I've listened through it with headphones. And there's times it kind of
Jolt
scares you,
Yeah.
or pretty soon one of the girls is going blah, 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 in the mic for no reason. But yeah,
No, I don't know. How many of these have we done now?
might be 45. I think this one is.
Holy crap.
Yeah, we're getting up there. There's a lot of people have over 1,000 podcasts though. Like,
Yeah, good for them.
yeah, Rogan's podcast is it's
They're
like
not-
1,100 and something.
Yeah, but they're not as local and centralized as we are.
You're right. And
The stuff we do is about real people and what they. I had so many people come up to me and say and just giggle. They can't hardly even get it out of their mouths about how real it is and how they can understand and relate. And
our latest follower I just showed you tonight is officially almost as old. Like, I bet, I don't know her exact age, but let's say 70s to 90s ish.
yeah,
Like, it definitely, and that's awesome. Like, I'm glad to know
I
that
think
we're
that's-
bridging that gap.
I think
That-
it's strange.
It is. I look at it and go, "Crap! What did I say in that podcast?" But I hope you're
know.
laughing. If you're listening to this,
I know.
I hope you're laughing. I hope you're not listening and went, "Oh boy."
I have a few like straight laced cousins and friends that that probably don't need to hear a lot of the things I say, but I catch
Yeah.
myself not being able to hold it back on these podcasts.
Well, me too. So, here's something. The difference from 20 years ago to now. You used to say, "Watch your mouth around grandma." You don't say shit around grandma. Now,
Now you got to
You
tell
go-
grandma knock it off
no,
in front
or,
of the kids.
Or you go, yeah, nowadays you go, "Don't mind what grandma just said. She's getting old," it's a little different the way that we apologize for things when it used to be the other way around.
And does that have to do with the computer age?
I think so. A lot of it. I mean, like, so Facebook, a lot of, no offense, but a lot of grandmas don't know how to work it. And there's definitely times that I've seen things my mom's posted, or even or Carol said, like, her mom's posted, or, or even like just people that don't know that don't understand the social structure of social media, like things you shouldn't say or post or whatever. And all of a sudden
well-
you see them and you go, "Oh, don't mind that. That's just grandma." That's
and,
the.
and think you think about the way that people talk now in
Yeah.
like shortened versions.
Oh, yeah.
Like that to some people that doesn't make sense. To me, being one of them, a lot of that stuff doesn't
Well,
make sense.
you are a grandpa.
I am a grandpa, and I just learned how to text.
Yeah. Apparently he's still texting. I don't know.
Yes. No, this is, I believe, what they call sexting.
What's his name?
No, I'm just downloading porn.
Oh. That's not called sexting.
Oh, that's what I thought it was. See, I'm an idiot.
Have you seen, I watched a deal, have you seen any of those videos on what augmented reality is?
Is that when they put on new boobs on a gal?
No. So you're eventually going to be able to grab your phone and or like a virtual reality headset and like say if, like in here, I could turn my phone over to the side over here and there'd be a door that you literally, with your phone, if you walked in, would look like you walked into a museum and you can look around in this museum. It's augmented reality. It's not really there.
Really?
But,
So you could walk into the Louvre.
yeah, or whatever. And it's not full virtual reality. It makes it look like it's in the room or in the space with you.
So you could be at that Angel Falls in South Africa and just be right there.
And then look through another door
So
that
then-
puts
so
you in
then
the
what's-
Smithsonian.
What's the point of travel? Won't that put the airlines out of business?
Well, you're still going to want to smell the smells and
Right.
eat the food.
Oh,
And
I know. I still want to walk down those cobblestone streets of Italy and I want to go drink at a pub in Ireland one day.
oh, me too, for sure. What do you suppose, speaking of a guy that did all that and then ended up offing himself, what do you suppose got to Anthony Bourdain?
I have a feeling that it was the love for his ex-wife.
You think? Did he have an ex-wife?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I don't know, but
Could
that's
be.
what I think. He had problems for the last 15, 20 years. He was
Oh, yeah, he'd had issues for sure.
oh.
But,
But he was awesome.
seemed to be a guy that had
He
life
was a
by the balls
cynic.
at that point.
He was
Yeah.
a cynic.
Yeah.
He would find the negative in anything, but then at the same time he would turn around and find that bright
Yeah,
rose about what made it perfect, why everything around it sucked so bad, but then he'd find the bright spot.
But this one
yeah.
pork blood
Yeah,
sausage
even if it was
is-
a pig's eye roasted in
Man, he was, I love his shows, man.
his show. Oh, that was a great show.
Speaking of, though, now that he's gone, I wonder if they need me to take his place. I wonder if they need somebody to film that show with it, you know.
They probably don't want to send one American away by themselves. They'll probably have to take two.
Perfect.
So, CNN,
Yeah.
is this our interview?
Yeah, wouldn't that be nice?
CNN, look us up.
Yeah, go ahead, find us.
Montarctica.com. We'll eat nearly anything.
Yeah.
And if you want cynics,
You know, what's something... There's a lot of ways that life could have took a path one way or another. What's something that, like, you can think back on... Well, not even think back on, but something you wish you would have either tried harder at
Easy.
or...
When I was in 4th grade, they at the end of the 4th grade, they gave me the opportunity to skip a grade. And I didn't because I would have ended up in the same grade as my older brother.
Yeah.
And back then, he was a big bully, and he would have beat the crap out of me every day. And if I would have been in the same class as him,
Yeah.
it would have just ruined my life. Now,
I got kids
I'm
about that
still
age.
glad.
They hate
I'm
each other
still
too.
glad I didn't do it. I refused. I didn't skip the grade. Believe it or not, back then I was a smart kid,
Yeah.
and
I
I
struggled a
refused
lot
to
in
do
school.
it because I didn't want to put that pressure on my brother.
I struggled in school solely because I was a smart kid, but I was bored with...
Oh.
I didn't want to have to do homework. I wanted the social part of the school. Not even that, but I wanted to learn the things that I wanted to learn, and I knew in my head that
Right.
why should I sit here and do 50 math problems if I know how to do it,
Right.
and then I can take the test and pass it?
Yeah.
Like, I hated that part of school, and I hated I was pretty high strung as a kid, so, I mean, you still know me. I'm fucking almost 36 years old, and I still skateboard and ride motorcycles and all that shit. I was the kind of kid that, man, I wanted to be playing or jumping something or doing, like, to sit me in a desk for 8 hours and not let me
Yeah, good
move
luck.
or talk.
Huh.
So I used to get in trouble for talking all the time, and now look at what we're doing.
Talking all the time.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
making something of it.
Yeah. Who said that I gotta put my nose against the wall because I talk too much?
Exactly. And we both went into radio.
Weird.
I mean, you know, yeah, what the
Is
hell?
that like a personality type or
Maybe.
isn't there like personality types that certain people are?
I don't know. There's some weird radio DJs.
Yeah, that I will give you credit on saying that because I've met a lot when I worked even in Billings. I worked in Billings and I worked around a lot of radio DJs, and I felt out of place because I wasn't one of those guys that just sold my soul to the man.
Me neither.
I was like, dude, this is just a job. I'm not gonna. This is just a job.
Exactly.
It's not my life.
And I don't know. It's like, it's so...
Everyone has a job, right?
I
mean,
agree. And the thing is, though, like, when you're under the thumb of the FCC and the things that you got to do, you know, you're literally... It really sucks because you can't necessarily speak your full mind. And everything seems to be, like... I don't want to say scripted, because it's not that, but it's like...
It's not scripted,
almost like you're
but
straight acting.
It's regular.
Not,
It's general.
it's not so much, yeah.
It's funny. It is like the most basic of basic.
It's not the real human in you. If they're not on like a morning talk show.
You can almost predict any joke anybody's gonna say on regular radio. It's like
close.
Steve Harvey. Oh my God,
He drive you nuts?
I am not a Steve Harvey fan.
You're not a...
Have you ever heard?
You just Maddie announced the wrong lady at the Miss Universe or whatever, or
I
what?
don't even care about that. That's the only thing that I think is funny about him.
One of these days, Steve Harvey's going to
Dude,
reach out and try to give you a job. And you're
I
gonna be
dare
like, God
him.
damn,
I
bashed
dare him.
on him so
And
hard."
guess what? I will turn him down. I would never work for that son of a bitch. He is the most ignorant, racist, unfunny person I've ever met in my life.
I don't have regular TV, so I never see him.
Oh, you are one lucky
I never watch
fucker.
him because I don't have regular TV, so I don't get stuck watching
You don't
him.
ever watch Family Feud?
No.
You don't ever
I watch the highlights when he's on there, like,
There are no highlights.
laughing at things. or
There are
something, but-
no highlights. Everything he says is so predictable and so stupid and so racist.
Yeah. I've never heard him being racist, I guess, but I've never, like,
we
said
gotta
I've never watched him.
We've
so.
got to get off the Steve Harvey thing because oh my God, that guy. Yeah, Steve Harvey, call me and give me a job. Make me an offer I can't refuse, and guess what? I will refuse it.
Well, he'll be right in line right after the lead singer of Puddle Mud calls you Wes.
Yeah.
All
Hey.
these guys.
I can act like him about 5 years ago.
Yeah, no shit, huh?
I heard that guy's all cleaned up, and
Well, let's hope he does well.
hey, I want him to. I want to see him again. I think Puddle of Mud was a good show. Even if it was a bad show, it was an awesome show. It was rock and roll, man. Hey, you know what? I went to parties before where I wasn't exactly who they thought was showing up.
Well, exactly.
There's nothing wrong with a little diversity. That's rock and roll. That is just pure rock and roll, man. You think Steven Tyler never missed a show? You think Mick Jagger never missed a show? You think, and they've all missed shows.
Anybody good? How about the fact that Ozzy, Steven Tyler, Willie Nelson, Mick Jagger, those are all the guys that are still alive.
Yeah, I just saw a picture of Mick Jagger with his 5 sons and his daughter. And he's 75 years old. He just turned 75 the other day.
Willie's over 80.
Yeah, that's incredible.
And still touring with his whole family.
Hey, here's to the health. Here's to health.
Yeah, attaboy.
Here's to health, rock stars, and keeping it real.
Willie Nelson's one of my favorite human beings of all time.
I'm sure there's been books written about him, but there should be a dictionary. Or there should be I don't know. He's in a class of, him and Tom Petty are in a class of their own, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, they're both awesome.
Dude, Tom Petty and Willie Nelson are about as smooth of dudes, but yet probably the ugliest guys. But their coolness
like Willie's voice
far surpasses.
How did Willie take the voice that he has and work with that to become?
I don't know.
Like,
Did you ever see him in his younger years?
He
without
will
his
put
hair and
he'll put emotion into you. There's in here. I got a Willie Nelson Redheaded Stranger album hanging up on the wall.
I remember seeing one of the first times I saw him without his beard and his long hair and stuff. It's like, holy crap, you don't even recognize him.
Yeah, Redheaded Stranger from Blue Rock, Montana.
Hey, and that's what, hey, Willie, don't get me wrong. You keep putting on these shows in Montana and we'll keep coming.
No shit.
That's the other thing is if you want us to promote that show, you go ahead. Willie. Yeah, quit calling us and bugging us about promoting your show, Willie. Come on, man. We can only take your phone calls for so long.
If you, wouldn't that be fucking crazy? Sorry, Willie. Wouldn't that be like? So if you were that guy and you had all that money that would take to be that guy that Willie's calling us to promote his shows, and you got your dream home, where would it be? And what would be the coolest thing you could have in your own home?
My dream home would be.
Or would a big home give you social anxiety of your home? Or would you just rather have a minimalist?
No, the more room, the better. That's why I would want a double wide.
A safe room in there.
Yeah.
So Johnny can sit there and smell his own armpits.
Man, if I had a double wide, God, that'd be awesome.
Double wide. I wouldn't mind a big house. I wouldn't mind. The thing is, man, how do you get beach and lake at the same time, or beach and mountains at the same time?
I think you have to.
Lake Tahoe?
No. Oh, you got to go out of the country. You got to do the.
Well, California could be nice. Ecuador. Yeah.
You
Nicaragua.
Just get one of those beach fronts and start building with the trees that are on your land.
Wouldn't that be cool? Yeah, but then
what would be better than that? What would make you feel more like a man?
Look at
than
the
cutting
ambition
down
you
the
gotta have.
trees.
Yeah, exactly. And then
And
making the
building
boards
something,
and
building
doing
a shelter out of.
No shit.
I
That
think
would be cool, man.
all right.
We got that place out on the out on the river, and I've always wanted to build out there too. But it's still Mosquitoville, USA. So I mean, and don't get me wrong, I love Malta, but
I would buy a trailer house in Malta, and I'd buy a big cabin in Alaska.
something, yeah.
I'd have to do it that way.
I've never been to Alaska, so I couldn't know if that'd be what I'd want or not. But I bet it is pretty cool up there.
I suppose you're right. I bet there's a jewel in every state. there's
sure.
there's more than one jewel in every state, and we're from Montana. We're lucky we have several jewels in our state.
Even
And-
Nebraska?
And
No, I know,
Nebraska even has
Yep.
a beautiful pond somewhere.
You're
I
right.
mean, there's something everywhere that has something beautiful, and until I see every one of them, I'll never know where I want to build.
Seen a cool quote the other day. Cover the earth before it covers you.
Yeah,
So travel as much as you can before the earth fucking
Well, and just
put a
think,
barrier.
and I'm just talking about the 50 United States.
Me too.
I'm not talking about Canada. I'm not
Oh,
talking about
man.
Mexico. I'm not talking about Europe. I'm not talking about,
Do you suppose Anthony Bourdain got to the point he went like, I've seen it all?
maybe
that was it. Maybe
it.
he went, I got
Maybe
nowhere
that
else to
was
go.
it. He probably figured, I can't go anywhere better from here.
Yeah.
He probably was, I don't know where he was when it happened,
I don't either.
but maybe he was in the spot where he went, this is where I want to go.
Yeah, I don't remember where it said he was, but
I might have to research into that and find out, because if he
Somebody
was
said-
just sitting in a dungeon somewhere, then
it was a motel room, I think. It was another classic motel room.
But still,
hanging type
what if it
of-
was in a motel room at the? I don't even know what to say, because I'm sure there is
I don't
places
want
that
to. I don't want
can't
to say.
even-
Yeah, I don't want to say it wrong because I
Yeah.
don't. I honestly don't know the facts, but
and I don't want to offend his family or anybody.
yeah, me
that-
neither. I think that I want to say he.
I want to say that he. I like.
I
want
to say he went the same way that
Chris Cornell.
and Chester.
I want to say that those guys went going. This is as good as it can possibly get.
Yeah, I've
There's
had it all.
There's nothing else that I can possibly do to top this. And
Well, that wouldn't be so bad. I mean, to know that, I guess if that was what was driving their depression, but I doubt it.
I doubt it too. But I don't know. I liked every one of them, and I like to think the best about them, and I hate to think that they were cowards like that. Unless it was autoerotic asphyxiation, then hey,
Well, that's
whatever,
what
man.
Some of them tried to say that on other ones, but I don't think anybody really will ever know.
No, I don't think. I think they were all sad and dark. Listen to their music. Listen to their commentary. Listen to the things they say and the music they write about.
Suicide by hanging, same thing.
Yeah, it's
So
Chris Cornell wrote a song called "Just Like Suicide," but his songs were dark. They were all dark, bleak songs,
check this out,
but
though.
they were awesome songs.
So you heard the whole thing of like, and this is full
the
on
Pizza Hut thing.
Yeah, this is full on conspiracy theory. No, I don't believe it. But you heard the whole thing of it was connected. They said Chris Cornell
Yeah,
and
but if you
Chester
got
were
more than
both.
13 pepperonis,
Well, Chris Cornell and both Chester were anti-child pornography and whatnot.
who isn't?
Wait for this. Hold on.
So you're saying they're the only anti-child pornography
No,
guys in the world?
Wait.
Oh, but they got. Oh, so the
Here, this
people
is
killed them to
before
get rid of
no, listen to this. Before Anthony Bourdain died, he posted on Twitter. There's a whole thing on Twitter of him going back and forth with some guys about Hillary Rodham Clinton. Were you this impartial with Hillary Rodham Clinton and her cronies? Even if you gave HRC a pass, and I don't know his record on that, what does she have to do with this little sleazebag? Cohen is obviously dirty, blah, blah, blah. They go on to this thing. And he says, and I'm in no way an HRC fan. I've been on the receiving end of her operatives and wrath, and it isn't fun. This was on the 2nd of May.
And we all know that the Clintons haven't had people disappear on them,
This was on the...
right?
Man, they were...
Dude, the Clintons are like the mafia of our time.
I mean,
I
Hopefully-
know there's no such thing as mafia, and there's no such
hopefully
thing
we
as
don't wind up
Clintons.
dead because of this, but...
Who cares if we
No,
do?
I mean,
It'll
so-
be worth it. Hey, if we die because of this, it's worth it.
No shit, huh? But anyway, so that, like I said, I don't believe it, but those are straight conspiracy theories, and that is truth. Bourdain did post this on his Twitter.
I've heard that a lot of people have ended up missing and disappearing in the Clintons' life. people that were part of their lives and part of their businesses and stuff all of a sudden don't show up.
Weird.
I don't know. We might have to edit this part out.
I don't know yet. No, so like I said, it's not any of my beliefs. I'm just bringing it up because I read this the other day about this, and I went, huh, that's a lot of connections of randomness.
Maybe Donald Trump should fly us to Washington to have this talk about this. Air Force One, we'll be seeing you at Malta International Air Force.
Air Force, Malta International Air Force. Yeah. As he shows up in a fucking Cessna.
Yeah. Hey, Cessna's fine.
Yeah.
Just let me drive it.
Like, no, I'm not getting on that same flight.
Oh, come on. You would, you know.
Yeah. Not until you take some lessons. And even then, probably not. Hell, I don't want to ride in your S10 across the state with you, much less a fucking Cessna.
You can't wreck in the air.
It's not so much the flying that hurt, it's the landing.
They don't make bridges in the air.
Yeah, no shit. So what's... I kind of got off on that one, and you said, like, skipping the 4th grade or whatever, but what's something you wish you would have spent a little more time on?
You know, one thing I wish I would have done that I never did?
Either a talent or a hobby or...
Yeah, I wish I would have played piano. I think writing songs on piano would be awesome. Because you have so much bigger range.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's right there. The notes are cut and dry. Push this, push that.
I mean, I never learned piano. I actually never really learned guitar. But but I don't know. To me, playing the piano seems like such an inspirational type of instrument that I wish I would have done that. I wish I would have played piano a little bit.
I'd agree with you on that one. That would have been cool. Something else. You know, you're never considered a cool kid to be in speech and drama. It seemed like, you know, at the time. I mean, like, and not that those kids aren't or weren't or are. You know, like some of my best friends were now.
Yeah.
But as a high school kid who was really into sports and really like, you know, and not really.
Yeah, there's such a line between the two.
It is. It's so much different. I mean, not so much.
Maybe not anymore.
But when I was in high school, it was
there was a giant line.
And I almost wish I would have did more of, like, I guess the biggest thing I regret mostly that I do now, I do all the time now, like, is
I'll tell you how this
fear of public speaking.
I'll tell you how
I
this
get
pans
up
out.
I get up on stage all the time now and talking to a mic and do that. And
Not me.
I had so many opportunities when I was a child, though. Yeah, but you've done it. You've came out and DJ'd with me, and you know how to do it. You're
I've
good at
done
it.
But
like, I had so many opportunities when I was a child to get on stage with my dad and sing, and it wasn't that I didn't know his songs or nothing.
Right.
It was just flat out the stage fright. You know, and that's something I wish I would have.
I'll tell you how this pans out is I was an athlete growing up throughout like my scholastic career. I was an athlete and I was a dink and I was one of those guys. And then when I got in that giant wreck and I spent 3 weeks in the ICU, 2 of the kids that were in speech and drama from my school were taking care of me while I was in the ICU.
Well, no
so
shit.
there you go.
You're right. I mean, I guess it could stereotype one way or the other. There's successful people in all walks of life.
True.
But you're right. There's a lot of times I'm at the Mint and I'll hit that song on the jukebox, Glory Days, for, you know.
Oh, yeah.
When you're fucking 45 and still talking about the championship of 72.
When we should have won state.
And don't get me wrong, I get that too. I mean, like, man, we had a couple wrestling things that were close, and we've actually had podcasts where we sat and talked about it. And it's definitely a life achievement. But you realize now how
minuscule that is.
How 4 years of your life took such a big thing, and that. So why is it only in high school that the 4 years of life do we form teams and be that competitive? And so why don't we just go out and play with others? It's the same. Because, like, once you make it out of high school, suddenly you got to be so good to even make it onto college and so good to make it on a city league or whatever. Like, why is there not more of that in society? And, like, you know, they say you got the tribe mentality type of thing, but...
It is tribe mentality. And it's like, you know, you go somewhere, you say anywhere. You run into somebody from Malta and you know you're a Malta Mustang or a Emmet. And it is a tribe mentality.
I've taken on, like I said, other sports. Like skateboarding and riding bikes and whatever. But I've always been more off on the individual side of things. I mean, I was a wrestler too, you know, but for one, mostly just because I was never physically built to be big enough to play.
I was good at hacky sacky.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I mean, to play football, you know, and don't get me wrong, I love football, but at 100
Football
pounds.
did not love me. Yeah.
Me neither. At 100 pounds, you don't do much damage on a football field. And same with basketball. I was 5'6", you know, like 5'6" once I finally got out of high school, I think. But, you know, like, unless you're a stud.
I was
and
like my
wasn't.
dog. I was just cocky enough to keep going for a little while.
Yeah.
Finally, I gave up.
But, I mean, I wrestled well, and I've had, it's not that I'm not athletic. I just, like you said, in the stick and ball sports,
Yeah.
that's not my fit. But I can still do a backflip, and I'm almost 36 years old. So,
I
like,
can
tell me
do
I'm not athletic.
I can do a one-headed no spiller.
Yeah, one-headed no spiller. So can my mom.
Hey, that's what I'm supposed to say at your stupid joke.
I know,
I'm
isn't
supposed
it?
to- that's
Your
what
mom.
said, yeah. Whatever.
Yeah.
Hey, we should take a break.
All right. Good idea. And we're back. Anyway, Johnny and I were just admiring the night outside. It's absolutely gorgeous
It's about
outside.
as beautiful a Montana night as you can
Just
get.
calm. Today was nice today too. And then, but tonight,
If you're not from Montana listening to this, sorry.
yeah. But it finally cooled off a little bit, and it's like the perfect weather outside right now. And then Johnny was whining about that. Have you ever got a sliver?
I had to find something bad.
I had to find something bad.
I'm not happy unless I'm miserable. And I found this tiny little sliver. And that tiny little sliver is making my world difficult.
It's like a paper cut. Take down
How
the
can
biggest of bigs.
How can something so small and insignificant be such a huge...
I wage war in my yard on those fucking little thorny weeds that come up every once in a while.
thistle?
Yeah, if it's a thistle or whatever those are, the ones that come up in your yard. Anyway, I like to walk in my yard barefoot sometimes. You know, if it's nice and green and soft and freshly watered, man, it's awesome. Like to go out and garden barefoot. It's the fucking best feeling
Yeah.
ever. But if you step on one of those, that's that same thing. It'll ruin your whole day.
Yeah.
You're sitting there just going, what the hell? It's
One
in the bottom
tiny
of my
little...
foot. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, have you ever had a cactus?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, cactus is the most miserable thing on the planet. You ever get one of those? That thing doesn't come out for weeks. Oh my God. I hate tiny little slivers.
I sat in the same cactus plant twice in about 10 minutes.
Why?
We'll have to divulge that later on a later podcast.
Oh.
Oh man, was it? It was about the funniest thing in the world, though. At the time, I'm not gonna
So it was
lie.
worth it.
Yes, it was fucking hilarious.
I think we can all
It was one of
use
those
our imagination to
It was
figure
one of those
this
Dumb and
out.
Dumber moments, you know, like or not Dumb and Dumber, but Ace Ventura when he gets shot in the leg and he's like, "Oh!"
Yeah.
Looks at them, they're like, "Oh!" It was tough. It was tough. But my friends got a good kick out of it, so it was worth it.
Of course.
And I'm still telling this story 20-some years later.
Yeah,
and
you gotta love your friends that laugh at your misery. I mean,
they're not friends if they don't.
if they didn't, if they just placated you and pretended like,
My real friends know that I love to tease the shit out of people. And it might not seem joking, but it's always pretty joking. I like to...
yeah. Well, there was one you
Razz my
said
friends.
the other day that
Yeah.
you asked me. I hope you got. I was like, of course I got that. I know better than to take a lot of things serious.
Yeah, and that's one thing, like one of the things that I've really had to work on is like Carol come from her family. She's a lot different than that. Like she not so much just her family, but like her, the way she was brought up, she gets offended so much easier than I do. And like I say shit off the top, like
Right.
I need one of those like 3-second filters
Yeah.
that waits before it comes out of my mouth, but I don't have that.
Right.
So I say shit that I think is gonna be funny, and then you realize the joke doesn't hit, and like she's
Well,
mad.
there's like me and you, and there's like I know about 3 other guys that you got to be careful of what you say because you open your mouth wrong, and they've got one coming right back at you that's 10 times meaner.
Yeah, exactly.
And I mean it. And yeah, it's meant to be mean.
I've got a group text, or not so much anymore, but we had a group text for a while between like Matt and Shane and I and a few guys that were all on it. And if anybody else would have read that, they would have thought, like, these guys hate each other. Like, what?
Me and
the amount of your mom jokes and things in there, like.
Me and a couple of my buddies went golfing with one of my buddies' dads one time. And I think there was 4 of us counting my buddy's dad, or 5. And we were on 2 different golf carts. And we were all, we were given the old, there was nothing off limits.
Mm-hmm.
And I was riding with him on his golf cart, the dad, and he like looked at me seriously at one point and was like, "You guys are really friends?"
Yeah, is that something that you'd say to your friends? Like,
and I was like, "Well, yeah." And then I kind of got at the whole, God, we were being as mean to each other as. I wouldn't even be mean to somebody mean to somebody I didn't like.
Yeah, me neither. I'm never that mean to somebody I don't like.
Yeah.
Like I like you if I'm teasing you like that.
Right.
But like that, Carol says that all the time. Like, she goes, "Well, why would you be so mean to somebody you love like that? Like, why would you do? Well, because
it's a term of endearment.
That's the way that I do it. Like in my family, you literally you could tease each other, and if you can take it and not get mad or offended, that's even a better joke than their bad joke. Like. If you can take it and be like, yeah, well, you're, like.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's where I've learned to be, you have to be quick-witted, because if you say the wrong thing, you're going to get pummeled. Simple as that.
I never really get offended by like an insult or like even like from a friend or like I'm like, but like
no, and nor should you. It's words, right? Sticks and stones.
That's what I say all the time. But yeah, sticks and stones.
Well, I mean, you can always say mean things, but man, if you can say something mean to me that makes me cringe, which it has happened. I'm not going to say it's never happened. But god dang, good one.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you always know the soft spot though. Like there's certain things you can get a guy with, but like I said, I probably, and I look back of things there's a lot of times I've did the fucking open mouth insert foot.
Oh boy.
By trying to be funny, and all of a sudden you go,
backfire.
Shouldn't have said that one.
Yeah, oops.
And then your tail between your legs going, oh, I'm sorry, don't kick my ass or whatever it is.
Very rarely do I say I'm sorry. I usually dig a bigger hole.
A deeper, I'll say something else to try and back it up, and then that doesn't hit either, and you go, oh.
Oh, well then let me try this one.
Yeah. Oh yeah, well you're
I'm sorry about your mom.
Yeah.
Or wait, then what I meant to say was...
Exactly. I'm terrible at it. I shouldn't say. I don't know, man. Like I said, some people.
No, there's timing.
It's different for some people that it's okay, and some people that's just like not even acceptable.
There's timing. It's timing, and it's who's around. Yeah.
Yeah. What's your favorite food? You got a favorite food? I'm like interviewing you like
my
your
favorite food.
President, but
Angel food cake.
Oh, that's a good one.
I'm not a chocolate fan.
I probably wouldn't even go with sweets as my favorite food by any means. I mean, and don't get me wrong, there's some damn good desserts out there.
Okay, do we want to go sweet or savory?
Yeah, well, that's a tough one, man. Savory. I'd go savory for my favorite food.
My favorite sweet is angel food cake.
Man, that's a pretty good one.
My favorite savory would probably have to be a meatloaf sandwich.
Really? Wow. I like...
A fried meatloaf sandwich.
Ooh, I've never had a fried one. Elk steak's good.
Ooh, elk steak is good.
You get it right. I mean, like...
a whitetail, loin, butterfly steak.
If you get it right, I mean...
For breakfast with eggs.
Yeah, that's what I like. So one of my favorite things is avocado with elk steak in the morning and some jalapenos. And oh man, I like it. That's a way to wake up.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
And some eggs or whatever,
Eggs Benedict is pretty good for breakfast.
Yeah, if you aren't giving a shit about your health.
And which I
mean, here's
not.
4 sticks of butter and
it's probably not the best.
Actually, they say fats are good for you now, but still, I don't think that.
Hey, what did they say? They used to say the 40 is the new 25.
Yeah.
I think fat is the new healthy.
Well, you're supposed to eat fats, they say.
Well, when I got
Like
out of the hospital from my
The thing
car
they
wreck,
say now is sugars are the devil. Fats are what you should be having.
well, that's good by me because I've
So
never
like
been a big sweet fan.
healthy fats though, like avocado and
Yeah,
fat
I've
off
never been a big
meat.
sweet fan. Sweets, I learned at a young age because I was high strung. I learned at a young age that too much sugar, it doesn't do me good because there's that burn down. You get that super buzz,
Yeah.
and then, man, nothing brings you down like eating too much sugar all at once. Because then, guess what? You're coming down from that, man.
Mm-hmm. I like some sweet stuff, but like my problem is by far is I get a sweet tooth like late at night. Like it'll be literally I'll be laying in bed. If I'm laying in bed wide awake at 2 a.m. or something, I'll be like, well, one cookie wouldn't kill me. Like,
Right.
and then I'm
or
walking,
the whole bag.
and then I'm walking through the house eating a cookie in my underwear at the middle of the night, and like,
At least you're wearing underwear.
yeah, well, if I'm lucky, I'm not.
In my apartment,
Yeah, I don't.
clothes are optional. It's.
Yeah, you live in an upstairs apartment. Nobody peering in your windows.
I wish.
I can think of your neighbors, and I bet you
No, I don't think anyone cares.
no.
No one cares. That's my problem. No one cares.
Nobody cares.
Nobody knows the troubles I've seen. Yeah, that's why I rarely shower.
So,
I just jump in a lake.
that's a great
That's a
feeling.
Montana shower right
That's
there.
a great feeling. It sucks at first when it's cold, but man, after you get used to it,
It
you
doesn't
feel
take
like
long. It doesn't take long.
champion.
There's a shock value to that is pretty awesome.
After all my injuries and shit, I got so much like inflammation that goes on after I sit for too long. Cold water does me wonders.
That's-
Like it,
And that people wonder why I pace.
you
Because
can't-
it hurts if I sit for very long.
That's why both of us have stood up and sat down 3 times
I
during this
know,
podcast.
I know.
I'm the same way. I can't sit all day. So like when I'm in here working on a cell phone, I'll do like if it's just a screen, I can get through it without standing up. But like if it's one I'm really tearing apart, it's gonna take a while. I'll do like 45 minutes, an hour, and then I go outside and I'll skate for a minute out on the ramp or
You
whatever,
gotta-
just
yeah,
to loosen up.
loosen up a bit.
Man, I get stoved
Speaking
up.
of that, I don't know if you're gonna take a picture, but I've already got to explain my bruised eye.
Oh yeah. John's got a black eye.
I got a pretty good shiner, and it's not because of what you might think. It's the strangest thing. I mean, I'm gonna pause here for a second and let you imagine your own story why John has a black eye.
That open mouth insert foot. No.
It's because I hit a little tiny 2x4 and it popped up and smacked me right in the eye. I know you might want to call it bullshit, but look on the webpage. When you see this picture, it's.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever had a black eye like this in my life, and I've been beat up a
Yeah.
lot.
Why? What were you doing? Like,
I was putting in like this one little filler of a 2x4 so we could staple the floor down to it. And it was a little too tight, so I was going to pry it back and cut another 1/4 of an inch off of it. Well, it pried back all right with all of that force, all of that tight force that was in it. And it just went, and as it popped out of there, it came out, and it was only like 3 feet long.
let me guess, you took the rest of the day off.
No,
Oh.
I had to walk it off a little bit because
I bet. That
holy
sucks when you get hit in the
crap.
head with like, and you don't expect it. I get those things all the time, man.
and it wasn't something soft.
I'm always drilling myself and going, oh, that like, or running my head into something.
I can't go through a day without hurting myself somehow or some way. But man, I don't know how to explain it. I can have the best day going on of all time, and I'll just be ready to go to bed, take a leak, and I'll zip my pecker up in my zipper.
the other night I'm walking into the bedroom. This is, I don't know, a month or so ago. I'm walking into the bedroom, and my side of the bed's real close to the wall where the window is. And I'm walking through, just crawling to bed, and I go by, and the fucking edge of the window crank hits me right on the tip of the bone of my elbow.
Of all the things
And
that happen.
I know, yeah. I mean, and it drops me into bed. It hurt so bad, and still hurt for like days after. And I'm like, I can't move my arm because I smacked the window crank on the tip of my elbow.
Jesus. Well, we sure sound like pussies.
I know. I stepped on an Xbox remote one time that the new Xbox remotes, or well, not the new, but with the joysticks, and one of the joysticks is broken in half, so it's sharp on this one.
Oh.
And I stepped on that, and it hurt me for a month, and Carol still teased me for that thing. But I'm like, you have no idea how bad that sucked.
I stepped on a hot nail kicking out a keg fire once.
Oh, that sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, I nailed my shoe to my foot with a red hot nail. I tried. Yeah, it sucked. I thought I stepped on glass at first because it was so hot it just pierced right through my foot.
Johnny Jesus.
And I was like gonna pull my shoe off to see what I'd stepped on. I couldn't. It was nailed to my foot.
Ow, I've heard of stories like that. And
So I went to pull the nail out. It burned my fingers. It was so hot that it blistered my fingers trying to pull it out. I had to let that red hot nail cool down inside my foot before I could pull it out.
Oh my God.
How's that for a story?
I put a toothpick all the way through my hand once. I don't know if I told this story on the podcast or not yet, but I was out at a friend's house one time, and I get on the floor and I'm playing with her dog, and you know how like you get out on all fours and you're slapping the floor?
Yeah.
I'm slapping the floor. Well, her mom used to do lotto tickets, and she'd scratch them and then like sit on the couch and put her toothpick on the floor from that. And this toothpick hit me right in the meat of the palm of my, like in between my thumb and my index finger, and went right through, like, boonk. And I went, oh!
Yikes.
And then I go to grab it, and it won't twist in there to pull out or nothing.
Shock
it's
sets
like,
in instantly.
It's like turning the meat in my hand. So lucky I went
All right,
out.
this is Montarctica Podcast.
Yeah, I know. So I went out and I grabbed a pair of vice grips and just gave it a good yank, and it came out.
Oh, yeah.
Went and got a tetanus shot. And,
Yuck.
Oh, it was painful.
Yeah, you got me cringing over here.
It wasn't as painful as you'd think, though, to tell you the truth. I mean, I handled it fairly well.
Yeah, I just got done telling a hot nail story, and that one makes me cringe.
Yeah.
Anyway. Hey, you know what? I have to go see a neurosurgeon tomorrow. So I'm going to finish my beer, and this podcast, probably bitter.
Well, it was a good idea, John, of you to talk me into coming and do one anyway.
I know. We didn't do anything very productive, just rant, rave, tell stories about stupid shit, but...
This week, coming up on the podcast, I'm supposed to get a couple, maybe one this week, maybe one. I know Mike Pena is going to make another appearance sometime soon. Jory
He's
Shipman.
pretty funny.
We're going to have Jory Shipman on again.
There's two funny guys right there.
Yeah, it should be pretty entertaining with those guys. I think Jory's going to do one this week, maybe, and Mike Pena maybe the week after or something, hopefully. But Mike's always he's one of the funniest off-the-cuff dudes I know. And I love having guys like that on here. We got to get another one. We still... got to do the burlesque dancer recap.
Oh,
someday
we got to get
with old
Angry
Larry on here with us.
Yes, we do. Yeah, I see him once in a while, and man, I never see the three of us. Yeah, we got to get him on here.
That'd be a fun one.
The three of us together as you want. That's where you want to talk about friends that tease each other really bad.
No shit. Well, anyway, John, I suppose I'll let you go to bed, but
all right.
It was your idea to do the podcast
Hey,
tonight, so thanks,
you know, that's what I do. I'm full of ideas.
Attaboy. With that, Montarctica Podcast, thanks for listening, and someday we need some sponsors. All right, we're out.